everyone, I'm Yatharth Patankar, your host, and today we have an exciting and insightful episode lined up for you. If you are a college student preparing for placements, this one is for you. Joining us today is Nikita Deshpande, an accomplished senior associate consultant at Infosys and an alumnus of Acropolis Institute. With an experience in JavaScript, RxJS, and front-end technology, Nikita has navigated the placement journey successfully and is here to share her experience, insights, and practical advice for students aspiring to land their dream job in tech. From aching placement interview to understanding what tech companies truly look for, Nikita's journey is filled with lessons that every college student can learn from. So get ready to take notes as we dive into her college experience, placement strategies, and industry trends. Welcome to the podcast, Nikita.
Thank you, Yatharth.
So, ma'am, my first question to you will be so let's rewind a bit. How were your college days? What you were you always focused on placement, or did the mindset change over time?
So college journey, it was very interesting journey. First of all, when I entered college, it was nothing. It seemed nothing different than my school, just a bit of more diversity. But then with time, I realized no, it's not that. With the diversity, we have diverse minds as well. We have diverse knowledge as well. So that is there. And no, I was not focused. I mean, obviously, I always wanted to get placed in a good company. That was my mindset from the starting. But me and many of my friends, they didn't have any idea. In the first year itself, we didn't have that much focus or idea how to get there. So it developed with time.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, did you prepare for the placement in college? So, there was any specific strategy that you follow? All the common things which every student focus that do DSA and do this, or any specific roadmap you followed?
So I was from EC background. Okay, so I had zero programming knowledge. So in my third year, I started with C, basics of C and C++, and as told by our CDC faculties, and we had the CDC classes as well, which also helped immensely in developing other soft skills. So it started slowly. First, because we need to clear the basics. So for that, we started with C and C++, and then according to the expertise you want, so then you study further according to that. But for getting into placements based, first you need all the things, basics, you need to study quants as well, because nowadays for freshers, they take a written exam because they don't expect that you are technically very much strong as a fresher, so they see all the aspects. So for placement specifically, we need to focus on the basics of all the things.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, as you told about CDC, so it is important to have networking and connections with our seniors and professors for our placement journey. Or
Definitely, definitely, and not just with seniors or faculties, with batchmates as well. So I was from an EC background, but I was friends with people from IT, and CS as well, also mechanical. So you get to learn many things from. You can learn anything from anyone basically, and especially the seniors who were already placed, so they had some of the other advice to give you, and it was like a motivation for me to see them and just think in my mind that okay, I will also get placed like this person. So yeah, it helps, and networking is very important. Yes.
so, ma'am, as everyone has that one regret from college, something that they wish they could have done differently. So, what's yours?
Yeah, so my regret would be that I should have started a little early the studying. So I told you, right, I started in third year. If I would have focused on the basics from first year itself, so I would have gone gotten expertise in other languages and interest in other languages as well. So that particular thing, I would definitely suggest people that start early, be aware of your surroundings, what's going on, and start early. Yes.
So, ma'am, as you told that you can learn more languages like Python and other things. So, it is important that we should like focus on different languages or stuck only in one language? Like if I am
No,
good in C or C++, so I should stick on C or C++, or I should increase my knowledge with learning multiple languages like Python, Java.
so the basics of the programming that remains the same. So first you need to clear that with any language, be it C, be it Python. But C, as we know that C is mother of all languages, so just start with C. And according to, like, if you want to get into web development, then study about JavaScript, or you like development as a whole. Like if you want to be a full stack developer, then one front end, you can pick one front end language, one back end language. You can master in both, but you don't need all the languages different. Just get into, just pick one front end language, one back end language, master it. And then whenever the requirement comes, or whenever the time comes, you can learn any language if your basics are clear. That's not a big deal at all. And don't start with Python, I would suggest, because it is like, it's the advanced programming language, and it is considered very, it's like one line coding language, what we say in short. But we shouldn't start with that, because basics gets more cleared with our legacy languages like C.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, if you have to break down your placement prep strategy into three key steps, what the three key steps would be?
So three steps would be: first will be focus,
Focus.
second would be smart work, and third would be um, focus. So smart, what by smart work I mean that, see, I told you, right? We all know that for placements, we have written exams. First round is written exam, and in that written exam, what happens is that we have different sections. Now, uh, you are working hard on your programming skills. Okay, you are an expert in that. But what if you are not able to clear a sectional cutoff? Like you don't have knowledge of quants, or you are weak in that. So just study smartly. Like, if you know that your weakness is something, so just try to get more hold of it more, and focus on the other part lesser. But you need to plan it, like you can score efficiently in all the sections. And if you are weak at something, don't make the interviewer project that. Just you should focus on your strong points, and let him you should project that to interviewer as well, that yes, this is my strong point and I can excel in this. So yeah, that is there. And focus, because yeah, you need to be focused on placement, and you need to be dedicated towards it. Otherwise, uh, that will not be possible. And patience, because you see many people around you getting placed early. Some people get placed, many of your friends get placed on day zero, and then you are like, why am I not placed? Don't just lose hope like that. Your time will come. Just keep working hard, keep working smart, and you will get there. So patience is also necessary.
Okay. So, focus, smart work, and patience are the three key steps that everyone should follow to get us perfect.
Yeah, according to me, that those are important. Yes.
Okay. So, my next question would be related to your interview. So, since you have given interview at TCS and Infosys, so how was your experience there? And what was the process you liked the most? And how did you prepare for these interviews?
So see, first of all, TCS and Infosys were not my only interviews, right? I have given multiple interviews as well. I was also rejected. I had this Infosys is my third company. Before that, also I was in another company, and before that, TCS was there. So for specifically for TCS, what I did was, they had this examination. Okay, NQT. I don't know what process they are following right now, but NQT exam was there, and it was a written exam. Okay, and as today there were different section like quantitative aptitude and programming and I think yeah, English and one other section was there. Yeah, related to your branch. It is the one section is related to your branch, if it's mechanical or electrical or whatever. So that, so what I did was I uh, tracked down the last year's NQT exams, YouTube videos wherein there were questions. So I noted those down. I took out those solutions and practiced them, and I got an idea how, what type of questions are going to come, and that really helped me. And yeah, so that's how I was able to crack the written exam. Once I cracked the written exam, then there was a face-to-face interview. So for that interview my focus was only on technical stuff, because I knew that my communication is good. And during face-to-face interview, the main things they notice is communication, confidence, and your technical knowledge. So I knew that uh, for these two I can like take a backseat for these two, and I focused on technical things, and that's how I gave the interview and cleared it.
Okay. So, ma'am, as you told about your interview, so my next question would also be related to that. That were there any interview question that caught you off guard? How did you handle that?
Yes, actually, there was one question, and I didn't. I mean, I had. So it was related to something like what output it will give, or something like that. Okay, and somehow I was not able to get the answer, and I knew that it would not be correct if I give this answer, but I knew that what this is about, like how, what approach we can follow. So I straight away told them that okay, I don't know the answer to this, but this I know. So I told them the definition, what approach we can take in this that particular problem. So that they were also impressed, like okay, she doesn't know the answer, but she at least know how to, what is her approach, what. So if that happens to you, just don't get panic. You can tell them straight away that okay, you don't know this. Just don't let them don't confuse them with the wrong answers. They also get it. They are also interviewers. They have been interviewing for years, so they know who actually knows the answer, and who is just confusing them, going round and round about other things. So yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So the key thing is that we should tell the truth so that we do not confuse the interviewer also.
Yes, of course.
So, ma'am, as many students struggle with HR interview, so what's one
Hmm.
mistake candidate make that they should avoid?
Well, I think that majorly people lack confidence. The main thing about HR interview is confidence. No matter how cliche it sounds, but confidence is the key. If you are not, even if you are technically very sound and you are not confident about yourself, then that would make a very bad impression of you. How will you handle clients in future? So that time HR can reject you on the basis of confidence. So that should be there, even if your communication skills are not that good. But if you have confidence, you can convince them that you are a good fit for their organization.
Okay. So, ma'am, as you told about the technical skills and technical interviews, so do you think we should also prioritize our academics? So, do you think company prioritize skill over the grade, or CGPA still is a deciding factor in companies?
See, right now I work in corporate. I have been working for 5 years. I have given multiple interviews. After my first interview in TCS, nobody has ever asked me what is your CGPA. So this, in long run, it doesn't matter, but initially it does matter. It is still a deciding factor. I don't know why is the system like this, but it is a deciding factor. And I think maybe to some extent this is necessary as well. Because if you are if you are in a in college, you are working, you are taking a degree, so there should be some there should be some factor, there should be some target of yours, that at least I should attain this. So that is necessary at initial level, but it's not like your life is ruined if you don't get to that CGPA. It's not like that, but you should give your 100% in everything.
Okay. So, ma'am, between off-campus and on-campus placement, which do you think is a smarter bet for students today?
See, I would say whatever works for you, well, you that is smarter bet for you. If you should, obviously, on campus placements you have, that is a great opportunity for you, because companies are coming to you. I mean that I mean they are coming to your college. You have opportunity. You have so many people supporting you. You have faculties around you. You have guidance around you. So that is great if you get get selected in on campus. But if you don't get selected, unfortunately, then off campus is also an option. And off campus placements, uh, there's same strategy for both. It's just that the competition gets a bit uh, more tough in off campus placements. So whatever works for you, you should just go for it. That is
So,
what I would say.
so as in on-campus, we are competing with our mates only, but in off-campus, we are competing with whole city students or whole world.
Yes, yes, right.
Okay. So, as you are specialized in Angular, JavaScript, and RxJS, so why do you choose this tech, and how did you master it?
So honestly, I was in TCS and I wasn't given any option. I was just put into the project, okay? And then these were the technologies which I just knew: HTML and CSS basics, and JavaScript basics. So they told me, okay, you can learn Angular and you can work into this project. So I directly started working, and meanwhile, simultaneously, I was doing course on Angular and practicing that. So I started doing it, and eventually, and when I got into project and I started doing front end development with Angular, so this I really liked the work. So it wasn't like I'm not liking the work which I'm doing. So I developed interest in that, and slowly, gradually, I got an expertise in Angular. So you should see, it worked for me for the very first time. But for anyone else, it's not necessary that if they start working on something, they will like it just for the first time. So you should see what is working for you, whether it's front end development, it's back end development, it's cloud computing, it's machine learning, or it's something else. It can be, people have different interests. You can choose for other things, and not just in terms of IT or coding. There are other core branches as well, wherein if you want to choose that, then you can go for that. But it's not like only coding is the option.
Okay, so mom, there's always a debate between DSA and developments. So many people say that do development, participate in hackathon, you will be in good state. And many says
Mhm.
do DSA, complete lead code, and take part in competitions of lead codes. So what students should focus on for this IT placements? Development or DSA?
See, I would say that if you are just starting your journey into development, like into coding, into getting the basics of programming languages and all, so don't get into DSA at that time. It's like a rabbit hole. So you, the more you get into it, the more you have to dig. So if you are initially in your journey to get into IT, get into placement, focus more on development, and then eventually start learning DSA when you are on the intermediate level of development. As a beginner, it's not, especially for the people who are not from IT or CS, just straight away learning DSA when they are beginning their programming career. That is, what I would not recommend. Yeah, in my
Okay.
opinion, that is what it is.
So ma'am, if you were a college student today, and what three skills you will focus on to stand out?
Okay, interesting question. So I would, if I were a college student today, so according to today's market, I would suggest that I would have definitely chosen. either cyber security, okay, and machine learning, AI, ML, okay, and maybe cloud computing. Yes, these three, because we all know that what all is going on in the market right now. AI, everybody is very much worried about AI taking over your jobs. So yeah, these three skills I would have taken, one
So,
out
ma'am,
of any
as you
three.
told that AI is taking this job, so my next question is also related to this. As lots of students fear AI and automation is replacing jobs. So, what's your
Yeah.
take? Should they be worried or should focus on their studies only?
So not just students, every IT professional is worried about this, including me, okay. So uh, but we are working in the, like, in the real world. We are working in corporate, and we are seeing we have some of the LLMs integrated in our systems. So it's still, it's a long way to go for them, the to produce that level of code which a human can do. That will take time. These will, definitely help us creating a boilerplate code or like that. But in my opinion, it's still, it will take time to, master that, and to take up those kind of jobs. But yes, I would definitely suggest that if this, we know that this is going to happen in future, so why not just focus on, be a part of that particular environment, so start learning machine learning, start learning AI. So you will know in future every sector will integrate that particular thing in their sector, right? So you can be part of that sector by learning AI, MLU, by training the models. So I would suggest that.
Okay, so ma'am, now comes to their work experience. So freshers often struggle in their first few months of their work. So what's something they should be preparing for that their like few months are best?
So just like college, you are networking with your seniors and everything, right? In corporate as well, you have your seniors. When you are a fresher, you will have some mentor or team leader, like that. So no matter, no matter what, just try to get as much knowledge as you can from them, as much help as you can get from them. I know it sometimes, it gets difficult, especially in corporate. They also have their own work, and you don't get that much time with them. Sometimes they don't respond, but try to do that, not just with seniors, with your own colleagues as well. There may be one or two experience more year experience than you. They can also guide you. So that's how everyone does. They have been training it, they have been training you for that as well. So take help from them. Also, just not do not do not go to them for every small thing. Try to solve the requirements or the things which they have or the work they have assigned you. Try to do it independently first, and then if you don't get that answer after uh, a long time, after trying a lot, then go to them. Don't bug them constantly. So yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, my next question is related to a myth buster. So, let's bust a myth. What's one common misconception about IT jobs that students should ignore?
The most common myth that it is a easy money. It's not. It is not easy money. It takes a lot of hard work to get there. And in the current market, maybe post COVID, there was a large surge in the demand. So that's why that this particular myth started, that it is an easy money sector, and many people from other sectors were migrating into IT, that yeah, this is the future and everything. But no, it's not easy money. You have to work hard, you have to be competent, you have to learn constantly, you have to upskill yourself constantly. So if you are getting into this, you have to be prepared for that. You will this learning is never going to stop, even if in more, even like it's like you have to study more than your college, so that can also happen. So that is there.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, can you share some of the funniest or most awkward moment you had in an interview?
Okay. uh, I would not say funny, but it was a little awkward for me once. I was giving an interview, and I was, I think, 2 years experience then. And there was one question which I was not able to answer. But then again, I was doing the same mistake which I told you, that I was trying to confuse them. I was just speaking rubbish, anything stupid, that this. And then that interviewer understood that, obviously, and he just laughed like really hard. So that was a very awkward moment for me. From that day, I never did this thing. Never.
Okay. So, ma'am, finally, if you had to leave advice for our listeners with just one golden piece of advice, so what it would be?
Uh, I would say that start early, guys. Like this has been my mistake. Don't make it yours. Start early, and yeah, it's never too late. So do the basics and start early as possible, and be aware of the surroundings. Be aware what is happening around you, because I was not aware that this is the future. What is the future? You should know what is the future and how you can mold yourself into that particular environment. So yeah, that is there.
So, ma'am, you are saying that get update with the tech things which is going around the world.
Of course, that is very necessary.
So, ma'am, can you tell our audience that what they can do to get tech updated, or any things that they should follow to get tech updated, reading news or any other things?
Yes, of course. See, reading news is there, reading blogs, technical blogs are also there. Also, be in touch with your seniors, okay, who are already working in corporate. If not about next 5-10 years, they will at least know about next 2-3 years, what is what is going on in their company, what demands are they having in their company, what vacancies are posted in their project. So like that, you will get to know, okay, this is there, this particular sector, there is more demand in that. So that's how you will also get to know things.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, thank you so much for this, for your giving your time and giving us advice about how to get focused, smart, doing a smart work, and the patience is the key to our success. And as you told that CGP does not matter that much after a long time. And that golden piece of advice which I got is that get in touch with your senior, as seniors can get the flow of our placement a little bit smoother since they know the
Yes.
tech, and advice given by them will be great.
Yes.
So thank you so much,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Yeah,
That was
thank you,
a
Yatha.
great talk, and I got to learn
Yeah.
many new things.
Yeah, thank you. It was nice talking to you, Yatha.